Greetings one and all, this is Illustrious Freedom again, and today we're back with another Gunpla review. This time we'll be looking at the Master Grade 1 to 100 scale MBF P03R Gundam Astray Blue Frame 2nd Revise. One of the main titular Astray Gundams from the manga series, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed vs. Stray. So without further ado, let's get on with the review, shall we? The Astray Blue Frame 2nd Revise is a derivative of the venerable Astray Blue Frame 2nd L, with some added combat data taken from the Astray Blue Frame 3rd. It uses an improved version of the original tactical arms from the 2nd L, dubbed, you guessed it, the Tactical Arms 2. This second iteration of the said weapon features two new modes, the Gatling Arm and the Sword Arm, with the other modes such as the Flight Form, Sword Form, and Gatling Form being retained from the 2nd L. However, aside from the additional power packs on the rear skirts, which can be used alongside the Tactical Arms 2's Gatling form, not much else was changed from the 2nd L. The other weapons, such as the head-mounted 75mm multi-barrel CIWS cannons dubbed the Egelstellung, the Armor Schneider combat knives, the Transphase armor system, and the scale system used for aquatic missions, including its handheld supercavitating torpedo launcher, are inherited from the previous machine. As mentioned before, there are various modes in which the Tactical Arms 2 can switch into, but for this specific one, we'll focus on the two new modes, the Gatling and Sword Arms. The Gatling Arm is a more mobile and handheld variant of the standard Gatling form. Because it doesn't require the additional blades to keep it standing, firing upon multiple targets is much easier with the added mobility, however, at the cost of accuracy. As for the Sword Arms, it's essentially the ability to use the blades of the Tactical Arms 2 as their own separate blades with two energy beams that protrude from separate paths, which dishes out even more damage during close combat. The Astray Blue Frame 2nd Revise is one of the main mobile suits that are part of the fleet of the venerable and independent mercenary group known as Serpent Tail, whose emblem is based on the motif of a snake with a fanged head and a green body curved by lightning. It is piloted by the group's leader, Guy Murakumo. The Master Grade Astray has been a fan favorite amongst many Gunpla builders ever since this particular kit's release back in 2009, and it's easy to see why. It offers an incredibly unique building experience, one that very much differs from most kits out, especially at the time, and even some today. It also gives the Astray a much slender and sleeker appearance compared to its more bulky manga counterpart, which I personally am a big fan of. The build itself utilizes a lot of undergating, a surprising amount, especially for the time. Yes, there are still some visible nub marks here and there, but I would personally blame it on the age. And it has to be said, for a kit that's 13 years old now, it still looks and feels amazing, even when you put it against a bunch of Master Grades made recently. It's extremely solid too. Apart from the obvious issues of the Tactical Arms sometimes wanting to fall off every now and again, it's extremely solid and stays intact no matter what you throw at it for the most part. Can I mention how great the plastics are to work with too, by the way? As far as the articulation goes, there's really not much else to be said here that hasn't been said already. It's brilliant. Even though I feel like the knee bend could have been done a little bit better, the movements in the abdominal sections, arms, and head do more than make up for it. The ab movements especially, I think it's even better than a good number of Master Grades out today. There's a lot of really clever engineering that goes into the articulation here, and a lot of which still holds up. However, if I do have another gripe, it would have to be with the hands. It used the old school ball-jointed 3-finger and index combination that many MGs at the time use. However, because a lot of the handheld weapons have hold handles to them, they do allow for a much more secure connection, especially with the sword arms and armor Schneiders. With that being said, trying to dual wield the full sword mode of the Tactical Arms 2 is as troublesome as you would expect. Wasn't exactly as hard as I had originally anticipated, but the struggle is still there, especially with the fact that outward shoulder movement, as good as and quite outstanding as the articulation is still quite limited, especially since this is a kit made from 2009. And with the hands being as troublesome as they are, it didn't make things that much easier either. But with that being said, getting it into a holding pose, meaning just simply sheathing it from its back, does look quite nice if you can get it right. And in the off chance that you do get the dual wielding Tactical Arms pose right, it feels incredibly rewarding and you can definitely do a lot with it, especially in the photography side of things. Overall, it's a really fun Master Grade to play around with, and you don't really see these kinds of MGs every day anymore, which is a bit of a shame because I personally value playability so much, and it kind of sucks to see that it's not as valued all that much anymore in Master Grades, but it's something that's really good to have. The Master Grade Astray Blue Frame Second Revise has truly made me realize why the Master Grade Astray is still loved even 13 years after its introduction. The combination of a unique yet solid build and the outstanding articulation from the time, and even by today's standards, truly solidifies this kit as well as the red frame counterpart as Gunpla classics are forever etched in the minds and hearts of those who own them. Sure, it's not perfect, hands are outdated, it does rely on a good number of polycaps, although not as many as you might think, which can make it prone to sagging over time if used too much. It could also do with some improvements in the articulation, as outstanding as it is, and of course the issue of trying to get it to hold the tactical arms too with both hands in sword mode being incredibly troublesome. However, if you ask me, the good far outweighs the bad. It looks great, it feels better than its age suggests, it has everything you need, minus the scale system unfortunately, and in terms of technicalities, outclasses pretty much every single Master Grade made during that time period, and can even hold its own with some Master Grades made today. The phrase standing the test of time likes to be thrown a lot, but I do believe this kit truly fits that moniker because it really, truly does stand a test of time. I mean, we're talking about a kit that's made in 2009 and it still holds up 13 years later. I know it's overused a lot, but I really believe that that's the case with this kit. Even though the red frame is the more popular of the Astrays, I'll still have somewhat of a soft spot for the blue frame, especially having read some of the Astray manga. If you love your Astrays, this is truly a must-have. I'd recommend this to pretty much anyone who loves Gunpla in general, really. This and the red frame, even though I still haven't got the red frame Kai yet, but we're still working on that. And to round off this video, here's a size comparison with some of the Seed Master Grades and 1/100 kits that I currently own, including its twin brother, the red frame, in its high resolution form. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to hit like and let me know down in the comments below if you yourself have owned or currently own a Master Grade Astray, whether it's the blue frame or the red frame, and what do you think of them? Also, if you want to see more from the channel, then subscribing and turning on the notification bell is greatly appreciated as well. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.